Muchachos, this image of the figure standing behind me and Dos at the lighthouse, it's still, oh man, it gives me chicken skin to this day. Okay, now that the Lighthouse video has been out for almost a week, I want to talk about it because there's new evidence and new things that have come out since the release of the video that obviously I was not aware of, like the thing that was staring right back at Mully in the basement, and trying to put the pieces together on exactly what happened that night, because this video has truly raised more questions about the paranormal than actually answered anything. Obviously, this is a discussion video. I'm not going to be reacting to the entirety of the boys video because the boys, that's what the channel is for. Go and watch the video first or watch this one and then you'll have more understanding as to what's happening while you're watching the other one. Either way, you're in for a ride because this is the most paranormal activity I've ever experienced doing one of these videos. I'm not usually this serious. What the f? Like... Let's just get into it. So, the lighthouse, a lot of tragic deaths have occurred there, including 3 little girls who drowned right off site, who are said to still haunt the property. An old lighthouse keeper named Peter, who I'm beginning to question whether it's actually his ghost or another entity that's haunting the place, just based on the things that were happening, and we're gonna talk about that. And as well as another lady called Maria, who was said to be seen at the top of the lighthouse multiple times and walks around the property in the woods, and ended up taking the role of the lighthouse keeper after her husband, a previous lighthouse keeper, passed away. The story is that her old husband wanted her to continue the role of a lighthouse keeper. She continued to do so for a few years and then ended up moving on to other things in life and ultimately dying of natural causes. But her spirit is said to still be at the lighthouse, continuing her husband's wishes for her to take care of the place. More on that as well. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I did not expect this place to be as scary as it actually ended up being. The place didn't have terrible energy like the asylum, which I might be going back to finish my night there. Spoiler, wink, wink. But this place had a different vibe. It was more chill. It wasn't too creepy per se. Until we got into the living quarters, that's when things felt f***ed up. But the lighthouse itself was haunting. It was like beautifully haunting. I don't know how to describe it. It was like I could feel that shit had happened there, and obviously we heard the singing and the door slamming and shit like that, but it didn't feel malicious, and that's why I was so surprised when I looked back at all the footage and seen everything that happened to everyone when we split off at the end. I guess you can never know for sure. You know, the Conjuring house looks like a joke compared to this. And after watching the Sam and Colby videos on the Conjuring house and the whole Cody and Satori situation, I'm beginning to question everything about that place to begin with. This takes the cake as the most haunted place I've ever been to. The most activity we've ever gotten. And the night starts off with this. This is direct audio coming from the GoPro that we set up at the bottom of the lighthouse. That's the REM pod detecting motion, which went off a couple times, but the GoPros don't just make random noises. That's a clear button pressing sound. That's a clicky sound. Obviously, we didn't know about this until afterwards, but let's keep watching. So here I go, putting on my headphones, about to do the Estes method blindfolded with the bandana from the Boys Store, of course. And the first freaky thing of the night is this.
On me?
Oh, when you plug it in, it might turn it off.
Second creepy thing.
The f was that? Did you guys?
That was a clear door creaking, which we looked for up and down the lighthouse on our way back down, and there was nothing. We made sure to look for the door that was creaking. Nothing was movable. The door at the very top of the lighthouse was actually shut for safety reasons. The 2 caretakers that night were actually across in their office the entire night next to the living quarters. We tested the doors at the bottom, which you can see later on in the video, but they were all greased up. Nothing creaked. We even tried the windowsills at each window from top to bottom of the lighthouse. My voice is cracking. And they were all hooked so that you couldn't open them.
Okay, we're doing the Estes method with the boys in the lighthouse. The time
Here we go,
is
Estes method.
12:30 on the dot. What are the names of the girls?
Mary, Eliza, and then an unknown girl.
And they are the what sisters?
The Pity Sisters.
The f was that? Did you hear that shit?
So the cameras aren't really like I'm glad the camera picked up the wailing sounds that were coming from inside the lighthouse, but look at Molly's reaction. It was so stupidly unbelievable what we were hearing, man. When I come off the headphones and I hear that, like sirens, like your typical siren singing sound from like pirate stories and shanties and whatnot, or whatever the f, or like people out at sea that hear like sirens. That's the kind of sounds that were coming from this place. And it sounded like they were coming from the top. Later on, Josh and narrator go in there alone and those sounds are gone. They're not there anymore. I thought it could be the wind. The top of the lighthouse is very windy, but that was a clear like woman's voice. Right before this, when we were doing the tour, the girl that was guiding us, one of the caretakers that took us to the top of the lighthouse, while she was up there, we both, all of us came up and she said, "Thank you guys. I was so scared being up here alone because I started hearing the singing and I've always heard about it, but I've never heard it myself." And she said she heard it for the first time that night, a woman's voice singing, and we got to hear it as well. Man, look, I'm getting chicken skin just thinking about this shit. I'm glad we got that on camera. Could it have been the wind? Maybe. But the door creaking as well, and the shit we get through the spirit box, it's too obvious that there's more than what we think we know. You know? All these paranormal videos we do have really opened my mind to things. Not my heart, because I ain't letting none of that shit in. But I think I've developed a bit of a thrill being in places like this. It's f***ed up. It's f***ed up. Okay, let's keep watching.
Liza, are you here with us?
I'm just... 31 days.
Is there any spirits in here?
In there. In where? Next to the...
Is there any spirits in here? Where are you?
Help. I'm trapped.
Aren't they literally drowned?
When they said, "Help, I'm trapped," I hadn't put two and two together. They were trapped when they died, the little girls. The minecart, that there was a minecart near the lighthouse that the three of the little girls got into and used it as a roller coaster. Well, the cart just kept going and it flipped over at the river across the street. And when it flipped over, it trapped them in the minecart in the water. And by the time help got there, they had already drowned. They were trapped. And we heard this multiple times that night. It's freaky shit, man. Okay, so this is something that didn't make it into the final video, but this is me still in the Estes method. We sent camera girl Jessie to go down a couple of floors to see if she could film some audio of the stuff we were hearing, to see if she could pick up the audio or even get anything with the other camera. And as soon as she starts heading down the stairs, which I had no idea about because I'm in the headphones, this is what happened.
I have a theory with what they've said so far. Come back. She just went down. She went
Fuck. You okay? What happened? What happened?
I heard you say come back. That freaked me out.
as soon as you went through one.
So this is one of the
I heard her scream, so I came out of the headphones. I'm like, what the f just happened, dude? As soon as she walks down, I say, "Come back." Or whatever I heard said come back. Like they were almost like they were warning her. This might have been around the same time we were hearing the beeping coming from the motion sensor. This might be in the extended version going up on members. We're also working on releasing the entirety of the Estes method audio that we captured for members only. That way you guys can help us with the investigation as well and see if there was anything that we might have missed. As you can tell, I'm being as thorough as possible with this thing because I don't want to make bullshit scary videos. Yeah, we play around and we f around here and there and do skits. Obviously, when we do skits and stuff, those are very obvious and not real. And we do those things for fun and entertainment. I like to think that we've evolved as content creators, especially as like horror content creators. As an entire group, we're taking this stuff more serious and have found actual curiosity in this. We're not professionals. We're going to these places asking questions. And if we can get an answer, great. If not, it was still worth asking. I think when you're dealing with the paranormal, you have to suspend some sort of disbelief. Like you can't go in there closed off about it and try to get something out of it, because the things you may hear or see, you will just dismiss as like, oh, there's some explanation here. But if you're trying to find paranormal evidence, paranormal is something that we can't understand. We can't even begin to understand it. So why try to approach it from a logical perspective, so to speak? It's shit that can't be explained. And I think that's why it's such an attractive subject. Okay, let's keep going with the actual video.
Is that you?
Me.
It is you.
Fire.
There was a fire that burned down this place.
Yep.
The original.
I mean,
quarters
come on.
underground.
What are the chances that we're getting information from a spirit box that's cycling through random radio stations that actually ties in to what we know of the place? By the way, shout out to the ex-employee of this place, because we actually forgot our spirit box and the staff was trying to help us find one, so they contacted someone to bring us one. She woke up in the middle of the night, and at around 12:30, she drove to the lighthouse and brought us the spirit box. The kicker is that she had quit the day before. What a Chad. We obviously compensated her well for it. But yeah, shout out to her. She saved the night. Otherwise, we wouldn't have gotten any of this. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward to the shadow room, because this is where the night took a turn for the worst. And it was terrifying. Going up and down the lighthouse for me was excruciatingly painful, because a couple weeks before this, I actually sprained my ankle really bad, which is why I voted myself to go into the woods.
Whoever is left in the hat goes in the basement. This is for the woods.
Bro, Molly's sweating.
Who is it? Juicy Betty. Yes. Now wait.
So off camera, we didn't include this in the video, but I also included my name in the hat. Even though I voted myself to go in the woods, my name was still in the hat, and my name was actually drawn to go to the woods with Juicy, or it might have been the lighthouse, but either way, my name was drawn fair and square, just like everyone else's. Mully was voted to go in the basement out of pure chance. Or was he? I'm getting all like dramatic about it and shit. No, for real though. I mean, I don't know. Things happen for a reason, I think, and something wanted him down there. All right, the shadow room.
What the hell?
What the f just happened?
It's going off.
Hi, Peter.
Being next to the
camera
rocking
just shut
chair.
off.
The camera did just shut off.
What the hell?
Did turn off, dude. And that has a bro. I literally just replaced the battery in that too.
Being next to the rocking chair was a terrifying experience, because the REM pod was going off as if Peter was going to sit at his chair. They did tell us not to sit on that chair. They told us that's Peter's favorite chair, and he will f with anybody who messes with his chair. It even has a sign on the chair that says, "Do not sit on this, do not touch." And first incident of this part of the video, the camera shuts off and corrupts the fucking footage. We got so much corrupted footage that night. It's insane. It's like something didn't want us to capture it, but we did.
Hey, remember when I said I invite all spirits into the house? You can be in here, just...
Okay, so that's what I think is a spirit orb.
What?
Right
Hey, remember
here.
when I said I invite all spirits into the house?
Narrator says, "I invite all spirits into the house," and then right here we get a spirit orb. Boom, just going down the screen like that. People in the comments were saying, "Oh, that's just dust." I mean, sure, it could be, but that's a big piece of dust for the camera to catch it. Look how grainy the camera is to begin with. For a simple piece of dust to be caught by the camera, I think is pretty unlikely. But hey, I mean, it is possible. I am the one who's typically debunking shit, right? Except when the scary shit happens to me. No, we're doing it today. We're gonna try to. Okay, now to what I believe is the scariest part that happened to me in the video. Dose kept hearing noises coming from his side, and I moved over to sit with him. I had that camera, a night vision camera, pointed at me the entire time. That footage no longer exists. It was corrupted. Something stepped in behind us. We both heard it and jump into the room. And when I look down at the camera, it says the files are corrupted. The footage is unrecoverable. But again, it's like something didn't want us to capture it. Something didn't want us to see it. I can't even begin to describe how scary it is to see yourself on a screen in a night vision camera. Everything behind you is pitch black, and all you can hear is just random noises from behind you. And you can see yourself on the screen as it's happening to you. Watch this.
William.
Get f***ed. He just said your name.
That's not right. There's no way.
Ask some stuff. Talk.
You're in my house now.
Whoa!
What?
What happened?
Get the thermal camera.
Get the thermal camera now.
What happened? What happened?
What the Wait, smash me.
Feel my heart.
I wish I could feel my heart right now. I f***ing hate this. Listen to what narrator says next.
Wait, what the happened?
I know you felt me.
Bro.
No way!
What is happening?
Whoa.
What the is going on?
Okay.
Ha, chicken.
Okay, Peter, you made it yourself loud and clear. Thank you.
What the happened, dude?
He said chicken, I know you felt me. Did you hear him say that?
That thing is like.
Don't stop.
Go back.
Come here.
I'm not going.
No.
The camera stopped again. Writing to the memory card was not completed correctly. Do you want to recover the data?
Show me.
Oh, the footage corrupted.
The footage is corrupted.
What are the odds I'm pointing the camera right at me? Footage doesn't corrupt, man. We've been over, we go over this in the video as well. We talk about it a lot. It happened in the Conjuring house. Like, think about it. At the Conjuring house, what was Kevin pointing the camera at? He was pointing it right at us, and behind us was the scratching noises. And the footage corrupted. Most of it was able to be recovered. But what are the odds that I'm pointing the camera right at the thing that I just heard? And the footage corrupts. Footage just doesn't just corrupt, man. It's so frustrating. It's fucking infuriating to know that footage is corrupted. I want to know what was behind me. Later on in the video, we try to slam the camera on the floor as well to see if impact corrupts the footage. No. At the most, the battery goes flying out and the camera turns off, but the footage is still there. In the comments, please, somebody who works with cameras, tell me I'm not crazy. I've been working with cameras for years and years and years. Yes, footage does corrupt, but it is extremely rare that it happens. Especially not multiple times in one night from different cameras. Especially GoPros. I have a theory on this, but I'm gonna wait a little bit. Let's keep watching. By the way, this happens immediately after we tell whoever's listening to us, whoever's responding to us, that we like to play games as well. It's like they were playing a game with us. It might have been the girls. The caretakers told us later that the girls love to play pranks. And it would make sense that it's a child energy. Whatever was there with us, yes, it was extremely scary, but I didn't feel overwhelmed and I didn't feel like I wanted to get the f out of there. I felt this rush of energy and I wanted to keep going. I wanted to keep seeing what else we would find. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I was way more active this video. I wanted to ask questions. I wanted to be involved more in the whole process of finding out what the f is out there. So this is Juicy holding his phone. He's got a thermal camera that attaches to the iPhone where he's capturing the thermal footage. I remember this part vividly because I was looking right at him. He looked at me and Doze and said, "I just saw someone behind you." He didn't see it through the thermal camera. I was looking right at him. It was only later, after the fact, that we found out what he had seen and described that he saw was also on the thermal camera. And it's so fast that if you're in the moment like we are, you would not have seen it on the thermal camera. We went frame by frame, and for one frame, you can see the thing that he describes. Here it is.
What? Did you get something on the thermal?
I thought I saw someone behind you guys.
No, okay. I saw you look over here and like,
Are you recording that?
I've been recording behind me the whole
See, he's not
Okay,
looking at his camera. He's looking at us.
I thought I saw someone behind you guys. Over Dose's shoulder, his left shoulder.
Okay, let's talk about this for a second. Thermal cameras react to infrared waves and interpret those waves as heat signatures. They then create an image based on that information, and you get this. Dark blue being the coldest, and red being hottest. Or it might be white. Not sure, but either way, blue being cold, red hot. You can see the spectrum around us going from hottest to coldest. Juicy describes he saw a shadow, the upper, specifically, before he saw this footage back, before any of us saw this footage back, that night he described seeing the upper half of a man leaning from right to left over Dose, who is right here. Why is it that the exact moment he says he saw that, the thermal camera captures the upper half of a torso behind Dose in dark blue, of all things? Chills, man. I got chicken skin. Like, you won't even believe it, dude. When I first saw this, I thought we had lost all footage of any type of evidence we could have captured, being that so many things got corrupted that night. But this takes the cake as the most obvious evidence of paranormal activity we've ever captured. This isn't manipulated. We show us reacting to the raw footage from the computer at the end of the video, and that's how we found this frame. And it only happens for one frame as the dark blue behind us just keeps shifting. I'm gonna play that back in slow motion. There it is. One frame, and then it peeks back. It's almost like it appears and then it leaves. See that? It like leans back out. Right there. It like peeks back out. What the f is that? Nothing else is shifting shapes. None of the other parts of the room are shifting shapes. Which brings me back to the questions about corrupted footage. Again, we're talking about the paranormal here, which means it's something that can't be explained. But we can at least ask questions, right? And the questions I want to ask, they might sound silly, but they're grounded based on this evidence. And I guess there can't be any silly questions when it comes to things that are unexplainable. Back at the Conjuring house, we got corrupted footage. This video, we got corrupted footage during the part where something was behind me and Dose, and I was pointing the camera directly at it. The other is later on in the video when we put a GoPro over the T-set, the metal T-set, which we heard clanking of. GoPros record every 10 or 15 minutes. They create a new file every time. That GoPro has worked before. It created different files for other parts of the night, including inside the lighthouse where you heard the clicking noise. But what are the odds that every single file that it started recording that was pointed at the T-set was also corrupted? It's about 10 to 15 files. All corrupted, all unusable and unrecoverable. My question is this: if ghosts can interact with infrared waves, such as this, and also on the night vision camera, if ghosts can interact with infrared, is there something, some type of energy they're emitting that causes regular cameras to corrupt? Is there something about the energy composition of ghosts that is causing a camera that's pointed at them to corrupt like that? Again, sounds like a silly question, and saying it out loud sounds silly as f, because I used to not believe in this shit. But is that possible? Because we obviously caught something here with the thermal camera, which is built to interact with infrared light. Here we go. All objects emit infrared energy, known as a heat signature. An infrared camera, also known as a thermal imager, detects and measures the infrared energy of objects. The camera converts that infrared data into an electronic image that shows the apparent surface temperature of the object being measured. So if everything emits infrared energy, does that also include ghosts? I mean, evidently there's something here. This one did. Maybe it's too powerful of an energy for a regular camera. See, it sounds so like out there to say that kind of shit. Anyway, I'll leave it at that because I can't know the answer to that. Obviously, I don't have that answer, which is why I think that this place left us with more questions than answers. But let's get to the basement part because there's something we need to discuss. Here, Molly's camera kept turning off over and over and over. It was just shutting off and he had to turn it on again. And I know skeptics are gonna be like, oh, he could have just been faking it. Molly is the worst liar in existence. That man cannot tell a lie, first of all. Second of all, you can tell how terrified he is. Every time it turns off, he's so confused. And it's obviously scary because that's his only source of light. It's the only thing you can see. This is what it looks like without that camera. So you're basically seeing everything through that camera. There. Everyone keeps pointing out these, what appears to be eyes looking back at him right there. Now, I'm pretty familiar with those dots, and we typically see them a lot with other IR infrared objects like cameras, security cameras. A night vision camera reacts to that infrared lighting, and that's how you pick up what appears to be light shining down, but it's infrared light. If you want to get more range on the night vision camera, you put an IR blaster, which is just a big beam of infrared light that shoots from this device you stick to the top of your camera, and boom, it's like going from flashlight to spotlight, pretty much. So these dots are infrared light. If we look further, you can tell that wherever those were just at, there's this box here. Now, this might be a glass box, and a lot of people were saying that it could be a reflection from the box, a reflection of the infrared light on the night vision camera. And while that's possible, how do you explain the fact that it's stationary? If the perspective of the camera is shifting, why is the light stationary to that spot? Why are those dots stationary? They're not moving along with the camera, because the moment he points it down, theoretically, they shouldn't be shining at that thing anymore. Watch how they blur up and down the screen. See that? They're in one spot, and then they just randomly turn off. The camera's still on. If it's reflecting the light from the camera, why did it stop just then? Why did it not come back just now? Where did that infrared light go? Look at that. Disappeared. Didn't move out of the way, didn't come back. Here he is again. I say again, we haven't gotten there yet, but this is Mully pointing down this hallway.
I'm too scared.
The same hallway, which we will see in a little bit, the dots return again, right about this area. Why are they not there right now? If there is something there reflecting those dots again, those eyes, why are they not there? I'm not saying it's not possible for this pair of eyes to just be reflections from the camera light. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't make sense based on all the movement of the camera and their behavior. Now, this part in the woods, for me, when me and Juicy went in there, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's not really much else to add to this other than it was extremely dark. And there were parts where I questioned why the f I was there in the first place. The only thing you have is this little tiny screen where you can see this, what's being recorded, the night vision illuminating the path in front of you. So if anything were to charge at me, I wouldn't know where to run. I wouldn't know what to do, especially with it being dark. I was more scared of there being some feral alligator or some bullshit out there, some wildlife, than anything else. Maybe a local Florida meth head trying to bum $5 off of me and accidentally stabbing me with his uncut fingernails. I don't know. Okay, back to Mully.
Shit. The camera just turned off again. The camera just turned off. Hold on. I don't know if that's the other boys outside talking, but I just heard some noises. Jesus Christ.
That was not us. We weren't back there yet.
Oh my God, that is terrifying.
Okay, back to this hallway. What the f is this, man? What is that staring right back at him? I'm getting I can't even, it's hard to look at, man. This thing is terrifying. It looks terrifying.
How scary that looks. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Again, stationary lights. They're in one spot. Now, I've gone and downloaded raw footage of us exploring this place, and I want to know what this is. I want to know what's there in that specific spot, and I want to show you guys, because again, I want to be thorough, and I don't just want to be like, oh, that's a ghost. Let's just look at this together. Okay, here we go. This is us going down that hallway, this same hallway right here, earlier that night. Here's the door. Here's the door.
Is that empty? What's in there?
Over on the left side of the hall is these random holes.
Whoa. What the f? What the f is that? What? It's a ship. What is that room you found? The secret ship room. Dude, is it just a room with like a cutout? Is there any way into it? No. What? Like a booster looking at it. What the hell is that? Like a booster. How do you go
It's definitely a creepy room. There it is. Okay, here we go. So there's door, brick wall right here. In the footage, there seems to be door, brick wall, eyes. So between the door and the brick wall, between door and the brick wall is a thermostat with a clear reflective box over it. And I say reflective because we were talking about earlier how people think that the eyes are a reflection of the infrared from the camera. Let's keep looking and see if there's more.
I'll boost you.
Yep, that's a thermostat and a fire extinguisher right underneath it. So could there theoretically be a reflection coming back of the single infrared light in the front of that camera? Yes. Why is there two? Why is there two eyes? Well, okay, let's go back. And let's say you're looking at this, pointing the camera at this thing at an angle. You would see one reflection coming from this side of the box and one reflection coming from this side of the box, theoretically. Now, here's where we could say, oh, we figured it out. We've debunked it. We know we have an explanation. Or do we? Let's call this eye level right here. Mully's eye level. That would put the box, which would be right here where the reflection's coming from, above eye level. This is Mully holding camera and pointing. Eye level slightly above the pointing finger. He could have had his camera lower. He could have had it right here. The thermostat would be above eye level. Okay, we got that. The thermostat here is below. The thermostat for Mully is actually shoulder height. But okay, perspective, this and that. Okay, yeah, sure. But how about this? In comparison to the door, you can see the doorknob is right here. You can tell because the middle frame of the door is right there, and most door handles, doorknobs are right here. So let's use my room as a comparison. Okay, doorknob, thermostat, right around here. Let's look at this distance for a second and compare it to the distance from the door handle right here to the reflection being way the fuck up here. I don't believe that's the thermostat. The thermostat would be placed right around here, which you can kind of tell there's like a white splotch or something here. This is too damn high for a thermostat. That's almost at the top of the door. I'm putting thermostat around my shoulder height because of this. Fire extinguisher sign, clearly not a reflective surface. Otherwise, you'd be able to see some sort of light reflected off of it from like it is here. So is this a ghost? I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I have zero explanation for the shit. Whatever it is sends shivers down my spine, just like it does for many of you who commented about this. I can see a white splotch right there for the thermostat, like some sort of lighter color here. And again, the argument stands that when the camera moves, those lights are in the same spot. They're still there when he moves it away. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. I could be full of shit. I could just be having confirmation bias because this is our video and we want it to be scary, and I think it 100% is. Whether that is the thermostat or not, it does not take away from everything else that happened. It does not take away from the shadow room, from the corrupted footage. It doesn't take away from what we found in the thermal camera, and it doesn't take away from all the messages we got through the spirit box calling us a chicken and all that shit. Now, if that is some sort of entity staring back at Mully, this next part is even more chilling. So we know that Mully is down there hearing things. He thinks he's seeing things. He's scared, and he feels like there's something there with him. At this part, I start to pray.
Vamos a rezar en el nombre del Padre, del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo.
What does that mean?
No, this just means I'm protecting us right now.
Okay, keep doing that.
Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre.
I'm protecting us, right? I'm doing what I believe is spiritual protection.
Perdonamos a los que nos ofenden, no nos dejes caer en tentación y líbranos de todo mal.
You're holding it down, big dog.
Amen. We're walking into the big
You're holding it down, big dog. I didn't know that I was, because then narrator says this to Josh from the spirit box.
Stressing out a little bit.
Calm down.
What the
Boy, what?
I literally just said that I was freaking out and I was feeling overwhelmed.
Get up.
He was kneeling down. He was kneeling down.
I feel like I'm being talked to directly. I'm up. What now? What now?
William.
William's not here. Oh my God, I'm really freaking out.
God has reached down.
God has reached down? God, I can't describe. I feel really overwhelmed. I feel pretty emotional.
To capture him.
To capture who? Wait, William? Someone's trying to capture William? Are you talking about someone that we know?
He's...
What? I can't believe I was freaking out. I was literally so stressed out. I mentioned it and they said, calm down.
Or what?
And then I knelt down and they said, get up.
In trouble.
Who's in trouble?
William. God has reached down to capture him. He's in trouble. Man. I'm getting chicken skin thinking about this shit. Obviously, I don't know what there's no way for me to know what the timeline is, whether when it is that I'm praying versus when narrator is saying this. I don't know how we would be able to put the footage together to look at the timelines of both things, right? But the fact that I'm praying and then it cuts to this, the hand of God has reached down to capture him. He's in trouble. What the f does that mean? Could it be that the prayer actually worked? Because Mully survived the night? Because something was there in the room to take him from us? To capture him? Or whatever? Oh, man. Even just talking about it, it sounds so fucking ridiculous, to be honest. It really does. I'm conflicted on believing this or not. I do. A part of me still wants to hold on to the possibility that it might all just be bullshit so that I don't have to confront it because it's scary as f. Anyway, they all run down there and Mully starts screaming.
He's screaming. Wait. Don't go in there. Don't go in there.
We just got told William Mullen. Wait,
He's yelling for you. Wait. Don't go in there.
why is he yelling your name?
I can hear people talking.
Narrator!
Go down there, go. He's calling out.
Mully?
Narrator was ready, man.
Mully, are we finished? Are you okay? Are we finished?
Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah.
Narrator is such a Chad. He like, it's so funny because his initial instinct was to run in to save Mully because he felt 100% like he was in trouble. Part of me, when I heard him scream, I told narrator, don't go in there, because it sounded like he could hear narrator and it didn't sound to me like he was in trouble. But narrator, obviously, like, I wasn't there with narrator when him and Josh heard that Mully was in trouble through the spirit box. I think I would have had a different reaction if I would have heard that, but being that narrator perceived Mully to be in trouble and heard from something that Mully was in trouble, I think created this sense of urgency for him to go help him. And what if Chad, you could always rely on narrator to jump in to save his friends at the end of the day. Anyway, this video would not be possible without all of you watching the video and sending in what your thoughts were, sharing these explanations and these theories, sharing screenshots of these things that you keep seeing, the dots and the eyes and the shadow figures and whatnot. There's a lot more stuff that you guys sent me, but some of it is just obviously our own shadows and things that aren't really paranormal. But regardless, I appreciate the f out of all of you for even making this possible. I didn't think I would ever get into ghost hunting, and it's not really ghost hunting as opposed to more just investigating. I did mean it earlier. Look forward to me going to the Lighthouse again, because it's a place that I left unfinished. And I think there's more there that we need to know about. But most importantly, I want to do it for me. But that's it for me today. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for being so passionate about our videos and what we do and what we put out. I fucking love you guys. And I hope that we can continue to grow and continue to provide good content through our genuine experiences, because none of this shit is planned or staged. We don't know what we're gonna find in these places that we go to. We literally book it, we show up, we look around and we're like, hey, let's start filming in there and then let's go in here and let's just see what happens. And I think we've kind of found a structure where it's explore the place, have our fun, goof around, and once we're done touring it and exploring it, we go back through and investigate. And I think that's a good process for us, because there's no fucking way that I will do a video with the boys and not have fun, ultimately. So thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, leave a like. Let me know down in the comments what you guys want to see next. But that's it for me. I love y'all, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye.